water as lead or zinc. It's much cheaper and will last just as long. However, at ground level, the drainage isn't sufficient for the roof above. One slight oversight that has occurred at this end of the house is that there is no provision made for the rainwater coming off this roof. It's been calculated that on a bad day in winter, 4,000 litres of water could come off this roof. That's 4 cubic metres. The solution is to dig a drain all the way along here and fill it with gravel so the whole lot drains out that way, because of course we can't have this water emptying out into the swimming pool. Inside the house, the underfloor heating is being laid. It's very easy to install, just make sure the floor the polystyrene lies on is clean. Each piece is then taped together and cut to shape around the room. The heating pipe itself is plastic, which makes it very pliable. It's best to lay it from the outside in a spiral, making sure there's plenty of extra pipe at the ends for the heating engineer to connect to the hot water. Once all the pipes are in, a layer of concrete screed is levelled over the top to create the finished floor. This type of heating can be one of the most efficient ways to warm a room and should always be considered when renovating a house. It's not so easy to install at a later date, but it can still be done. This hole being punched through here will be the door into Pete Sinclair's bedroom. You may wonder why he's knocking it through without having any aquaprops holding the roof up above him. But if you can think back, we did put a tie beam going all the way along the length of the room, which is cast reinforced concrete. In fact, a whole lintel going all the way along, so there's no need to support underneath it. We can just knock straight through where we are. Ready to get this thing out? Are they coming now?
Yeah.
Want to grab it? Whoa. Hey, a doorway. The subcontractors have arrived to spray the roof with insulating foam. This should definitely be left to the professionals. It's pretty toxic stuff that requires specialist knowledge of mixing plastic with gases. This is roof insulation, Spanish style. And from what I can gather, these Oompa Loompas on the roof over there are spraying a mixture of foam and drying agent onto the pine boards. Over the next 2 hours, it should swell up to about 30 or 40 millimetres thick. I'm sure it has really great insulative values, but judging by the protective clothing they're wearing, I think this mask is a little inadequate, so I'm going to get out of here.
To escape the toxic fumes, I also headed off-site to the local town. I'm here in Rhondda, just a little way down the road, to meet another couple who 3.5 years ago moved from Lewisham in London and have just completed their dream home. John and Graham spent some time touring Spain before settling for this townhouse. It cost £60,000 and was originally a bungalow. Graham is a jazz composer and John a writer, so both needed individual offices. To do this, they decided to build upwards.
This is the house as it
As it originally was.
Okay.
Taken by the original owner, actually.
So that's when you had that existing one level?
Yes, and then
Right.
there were stairs up to the
stairs.
upper terrace.
Right, okay.
Yeah, and again there you can see the stairs up.
Okay.
And what they did with the roof was take the roof off and then put the old tiles back on top, so it looks like an old house. And that's the building process, as it were.
Right.
This is taken from the park down there, which is the public park.
So you were living across the road while this was
We
all
were living
going
in a
on?
flat
Yeah,
on the other
in the
side
old
of town,
town,
yes.
yeah.
And how long did the renovation take?
9 months.
9
We were
months.
promised 4.
Okay.
Yeah.
Was that something to do with Spanish builders?
No, the particular Spanish builder was excellent. It's about the process of going through the Ayuntamiento, the government, and the paperwork, and getting stuff done.
Right.
But it does take longer.
Okay.
And I think one of the things one can warn about moving to Spain is think of a time and double it.
And were there any specific problems that you had along the way, any kind of pitfalls where you thought, what have I got into?
We discovered during the building work that the house had been built on mud, so there was no proper foundation. So we had to have a foundation laid, and that was the only extra expense that we incurred.
They give you a budget, which is everything. 25 wall plugs, so much thickness of wall, so much plastering, everything measured, inch by inch almost.
So I became a walking dictionary of Spanish building phrases.
The restoration cost £30,000. Their emphasis is very much on creating enjoyable living and working spaces. So this is the original part of the house where you first camped out when you found the property?
That's right, that was the front door. You had to come in through the garden gate, through this front door, into the living room. As it were. The little dining area there with a wall which we knocked down just to open it up more, and then the kitchen and bathroom beyond.
Yeah,
and this was the mud floor?
This was the mud floor.
Yeah.
We discovered this during the works, and we had to have a new floor laid. And this is the wall that was here, which used to have a fireplace, but we had that taken out because it took up too much room. And that's the passage that we're going through now.
The old storeroom became the staircase which leads up to the new part of the house.
This is Graham's study with an incredible view down to the mountains again and lots of space, which is what we wanted.
Fantastic. Next door to Graham's study is John's, one of the most attractive rooms in the house. That is one spectacular view out there.
I suspect it's probably one of the greatest workplaces in Spain, possibly the world. I mean, this is what it looked like when they started building it, when we got an idea of what the views could be like.
Right.
And this is me in study, playing my Air iMac, imagining that the desk would be there, and my computer would be there, and I have the view out the window.
Adding a first floor also meant adding a balcony.
And this is the upper terrace.
Wow.
The one I showed you earlier on. And probably the reason we bought the house, the reason we wanted to buy it, we saw it first saw it, so excited.
It is absolutely incredible, and you're just surrounded by all this history, all the ancient buildings, the bridge.
Yeah, I mean, quite a lot of what people come to want to see, we can see from our house.
Yeah.
So it's wonderful.
We're 5 minutes from the centre of a very cosmopolitan town, but 5 minutes also from the countryside. It's perfect.
Yeah.
So when you've had enough of work, all you've got to do is step out that door.
Well, first we have to go down and get the gin and the ice and the tonics, but apart from that...
Yeah, of course.
Yeah. But yes, I mean, this is one of those perfect places to chill out in Spain.
Complete heaven. It's incredible.
Back on site and the insulating foam has set. There's no more preparation to be done, so the team are beginning to lay the pan tiles. Most of them have been reclaimed from the old roof and are remarkably easy to fit. Two types of concrete are mixed, a normal mix for securing the roof and a much stronger mix for the top of each tile. The tiles are all soaked in water for a couple of minutes before laying, so they bond with the concrete and are laid, forming ridges and gullies. All the gaps are then sealed using normal concrete. It's going to be really nice out here.
Yep, 16 weeks to go before this whole place is cleared up and finished.
Yeah, and only 3 weeks before Pete and Claire actually move in. It is going to be pretty good there. I mean, I can imagine it right now. You've got the mountains, you've got your olive groves, and you've got the sun constantly beating down.
Yeah, I can imagine us sitting on this veranda, having a beer, going for a swim. I'm going to book my room now.
Make sure it's a double.
I've eaten some goofy food in my day, but mullet gizzards, calves' brains, bull's tails, raccoon, crunchy little sea feet. Oh my God.
Food critic and chef Andrew Zimmern knows bizarre is best. And he can stomach just about anything.
This is some good possum. Do you like this? No. But that's a nice, fresh intestinal smell. Try one. One.
Bizarre Foods, Thursday at 10:50 on Discovery Travel and Living.
A fresh approach to food. Pizzas in Brazil topped with fruit and cheese. Duck hung for a day and roasted over an open fire. Sushi with foie gras and an Italian dressing. Finding good food isn't easy, but it's worth the effort. The definitive global guide to the ingredients, the preparation and the tucked away places to find and enjoy Chic Eats. Saturday at 11:45 on Travel and Living. Ladies and gentlemen, behind the bar tonight,
Dimitri!
Colin!
Yeah!
Join us
on a roller coaster tour around the world, where we're going to visit the trendiest cities.
We're going to meet the local people
Taking the sights
and seek out
the most